Commander Rin Valak drifted between consciousness and the cold edges of oblivion, her body cocooned in a cracked Zendari escape pod, light years from any known trade route. The stars outside the viewport were wrong, twisted, stretched into cruel spirals by the gravitational pull of the black hole she orbited. Every few hours, the pod groaned as it adjusted its decaying trajectory, engines long dead, thrusters firing only in gasping, futile bursts. Her visor was fogged with condensation. Oxygen, 18%. Nutrition gel, empty. Power, critical. She tried to sit up. Pain bloomed behind her eyes like supernova. Her ribs were bruised or broken. She couldn't tell. She couldn't remember the last time she'd moved. Time didn't exist here. Only hunger, thirst, and the slow, creeping numbness of a body resigning itself to death. Rin's memory came in flashes, like static on an old monitor. The last diplomatic mission. The conference aboard the Alliance vessel Elaron. A toast raised. The ambassador's smile. Then, alarms, shouting. Security drones pulling her from the command bridge. A voice had whispered in her ear before the pod hatch sealed. "You were too loyal, Valak. That's not in fashion anymore." No court-martial, no execution, just silence. She'd screamed at the empty stars for 3 days. Then her voice gave out. The pod's internal lights flickered again. The same error message. Distress beacon malfunction. Retrying in 5, 4. Retry all you want. Rhine rasped. Her throat was raw. No one's listening. Then, against all logic, against all expectation, someone did. It was faint. A click, a hum, a soft, rhythmic pulse in her ears. None of her body, but mechanical. The pod's console stuttered awake. Her fingers, stiff with cold, hovered over the controls. She isolated the signal, an ancient frequency, encrypted in an outdated format. But it was there, real. 3 tones, a pause, 3 more. She blinked. Her training kicked in. Terran distress pattern, she murmured in disbelief. Dead language, dead sector. The humans were supposed to be locked out of this quadrant, their expansionist ideals quarantined after the Convocation Accord. They were passionate, impulsive, unpredictable, dangerous, but also extinct, at least around here, or so she'd been told. The signal repeated, stronger this time. A voice filtered through layers of static, male, calm, and human. Unidentified Zendari pod. If you're hearing this, respond. You're not alone out there. Hang on. Rin's breath caught in her throat. Her hand hovered over the comms. She knew the risks. If the Alliance detected her reply, they'd finish the job. But if she didn't answer, she'd die here, lost to entropy and swallowed by the void. The black hole outside pulsed again, dragging the light inward like it was devouring reality itself. Slowly, she pressed the transmit button. "This is Commander Rin Valak. Identification code XR7 Delta. If you're real, gods help me. Don't leave me here." The transmission ended. Silence returned. But it no longer felt empty. It felt like breath held just before a storm. The silence stretched for 16 minutes. Rin watched the console, her pulse synced to the flashing standby icon. The oxygen radar had ticked down another point, and her lips had started to crack. She stared at the comm panel like it owed her something, like it was a window into salvation or madness. Maybe she was mad. Maybe the transmission was just another hallucination conjured by her oxygen-starved brain, like the voice she'd heard whispering her name in the vacuum, or the illusion of a bird flapping outside the pod last cycle. Impossible, but still, she'd reached for it. She cursed herself for answering. If the Alliance intercepted that signal, they wouldn't hesitate. A plasma burst from orbit would be a mercy. She considered deleting the log, but before she could move, the console flared to life. Incoming transmission. The voice came again, clearer now. "This is Captain Elias Mercer of the Dauntless. Terran origin, unregistered. We received your signal. We're tracking your location. Estimated arrival, 12 minutes. Hold on, Commander Valak. A name, a ship, a human." Rin's breath hitched. The name Dauntless tickled something in her memory. A story buried under Alliance propaganda. A blacklisted crew declared rogue after a mutiny during the Valley's uprising. No survivors reported. It was a myth. A ghost ship. She keyed the mic, her hands shaking. This is Valak. Confirm your identity. The Dauntless was destroyed 3 cycles ago. A pause. Then, rumors of our death were greatly exaggerated. Mercer replied, his voice dry. We don't advertise. We just save people the Alliance forgets. A beat passed before he added, we saw the beacon. The Alliance shut it down remotely, didn't they? Ryan said nothing. That was confirmation enough. Then came another transmission, but this time, not from the human ship. Alliance priority channel. Intercept detected. A second, colder voice filtered in, automated, emotionless. Commander Rin Valak, this is Alliance Security Network. Cease all unauthorized transmissions. Surrender your position. Recovery protocols will initiate shortly. Rin's heart plummeted. Recovery protocols, a euphemism for drone disintegration. She looked at her console. 2 blinking signals. 2 choices. The Dauntless was still 10 minutes out. The Alliance would arrive in 5. Her voice trembled. Captain Mercer, they're coming for me. His answer came without hesitation. We know. Hold position. Do not surrender. We'll punch a hole through. You don't even know me, she snapped. Why risk yourselves? Static. Then Mercer's reply. Because no one deserves to die in silence. Outside the pod, a ripple of gravitational light danced across the black hole's accretion disk like a shimmering blade, a predator on the hunt. Then, from the edge of long-range sensors, something emerged, sleek, angular, bristling with dark hull plating. A Terran ship, real, larger than she expected, faster than anything she'd seen. The Dauntless had arrived early. Her console lit up with a new warning. Multiple Alliance ships inbound. 3 versus 1. Her escape pod shuddered under a distant tremor. The storm had begun. The Dauntless cut through space like a blade through silk, silent, swift, and utterly without fear. From the viewport of her failing escape pod, Ren could see the Alliance hunter frigates closing in from 3 directions. Sleek and silver, they glinted with the sterilized efficiency of a military machine that didn't ask questions. Their weapons charged. There would be no warning shots. Her pod lurched as something latched onto it with magnetic force. A tether, one she hadn't seen fire. The stars spun, and in the next breath, she was yanked from her death spiral into the underbelly of the human ship. The pod's exterior hissed as it docked, pressurization hammers slamming into place. Then silence. Until a bright hiss clunk split the stillness. The pod's rear hatch unsealed. Rin raised her hands as the light flooded in. Her knees buckled, strength gone. A dozen shadowed figures stood beyond the hatch, weapons drawn, but not aimed at her. At their center, a man stepped forward, broad-shouldered, weathered, mid-40s maybe, with dark eyes that looked like they'd seen too many Death Stars and kept going anyway. I'm Captain Elias Mercer, he said, voice low but steady. You must be Commander Valak. Welcome aboard the Dauntless. You're safe now. Safe. The word rang hollow. I shouldn't be alive, she rasped, falling forward. 2 medics caught her. As they moved her through the airlock, her last glance back was through the pod's viewport, just in time to see the lead Alliance ship firing. And just in time to watch the Dauntless do something impossible. The medbay smelled like antiseptic and heat stress. Rin woke strapped to a diagnostic table, IV in her arm, oxygen mask on her face. Her vision swam. But the ship was quiet. No alarms, no emergency klaxons. Easy, said a voice to her left. A woman in a dark jumpsuit leaned over, scanning her vitals. You're on a Terran vessel. You're stable. And you're not in Alliance custody. Relax, Commander. Rin didn't relax. She turned her head. How? How did you get away? I saw 3 hunter frigates. The woman gave a wry smile. They saw us too. That was their mistake. The door slid open. Mercer entered, arms crossed. His presence made the air feel heavier. I don't know what you were carrying, he said, but they didn't just want to destroy your pod. They wanted to make sure no one found it. That kind of desperation usually means secrets. Rin tried to sit up. Why are you helping me? Messa's eyes met hers. Because the Alliance doesn't make mistakes that big unless they're hiding something worth exposing. And because I've seen too many people like you tossed into the void and forgotten. He paused. But mostly, he added, with a grim half-smile, because I like pissing them off. The lights flickered, just once. Then a proximity alert chimed. Low, urgent. Messa frowned and tapped his comm. Bridge, talk to me. A voice crackled over the line. New contact, not Alliance. Unknown signature, just appeared out of nowhere. The medbay lights dimmed again. Rin's heart pounded. Whatever had saved her might not be the only thing coming. The lights steadied, but the unease didn't fade. Rin sat on the edge of the medbay cot, wrapped in a thermal blanket. The Dauntless thrummed beneath her feet, alive in a way Alliance ships never were. Human tech felt raw, improvised, emotional, like it had a soul made of defiance and duct tape. Messa stood by the door silent, watching her. Unknown contact still shadowing us, he said after a moment. No aggression, no transponder, just watching. And you're not worried? Ryan asked. Terrified, Messa said without flinching. But I've learned that what you do when you're afraid, that's what defines you, not what you say. She stared at him. That's not how military command works. That's because the military doesn't work, not anymore. Silence stretched between them like the vacuum outside. Finally, Messa gestured for her to follow. You need to see something. He led her through the dim-lit corridors of the Dauntless. The crew nodded as they passed, some curious, others cautious. They were a strange mix, not the polished, clean-cut humans the Alliance propaganda depicted. These were survivors, veterans, hackers, outcasts. They didn't look like rebels. They looked like people who'd stopped waiting for permission to survive. Messa brought her to a secure ops room, where holo panels floated above a table. One showed her escape pod's telemetry. Another displayed Alliance command orders from just 3 days prior. At the center hovered her dossier, stamped in crimson. Terminated. Status. Confirmed. She stepped closer, blood draining from her face. The log entry was chillingly precise. Commander Rin Valek. Role. Alliance liaison. Diplomatic attaché. Threat level. Moderate. Reason for disposal. Operational integrity compromise. Method. Jettison and orbital erasure. Status. Deceased. No recovery protocol required. Rin's legs gave out. She caught the edge of the table, trembling. I wasn't even a threat, she whispered. I was loyal. Messa didn't speak. She turned to him, voice rising. This has to be fake. A fabrication. You doctored this. Messa's expression didn't change. You think we can hack into Alliance Black Command files? He asked quietly. We'd love to be that good. He touched a key. The file decrypted further. Video footage. Grainy. Time-stamped. Her pod ejected from the Alaran. The security officer who'd whispered in her ear just before the hatch sealed. You were too loyal, Valek. It was all real. They mocked you, Messa said. Not because you betrayed them, but because you didn't. You believed in the system. That's dangerous. Ren stared at her own death order. Something inside her cracked, not with grief, but with rage. I was just a messenger, she murmured. I didn't know what I was carrying. Exactly, Messa said. You were the test case, a warning to others. He leaned forward, voice low. But now you're not dead, which means you're not a warning anymore. Ren met his eyes. She was a variable, an error, a threat. The war table flickered as the holo map updated in real time. 3 Alliance ships, larger than before, emerged from hyperspace like steel sharks breaching the calm. No warning, no comms, just weapons armed and vectors locked. They're not chasing, said the Dauntless's first officer, a wiry man with cybernetic eyes named Kef. They're herding. Pushing us somewhere, Messa muttered, arms crossed. They don't want us dead yet. That means this is bigger than Valak. Ryan stood behind them, jaw tight. Her official death sentence still floated in the corner of the map like a scar. She couldn't tear her eyes away. I was never meant to survive. This was precision, she said, voice hollow. They knew exactly where my pod would drift. They timed it to the black hole's distortion arc, a clean, natural-looking disappearance. And yet here you are, Kef said, glancing back, annoyingly breathing. She ignored him. You said they're hurting us. Where? Kef pointed at a cold sector of space. There, dead zone. Nothing but wreckage and bad history. Mesa grimaced. The ruins of Veritas Station. The name struck something deep in Rin's memory. A research station. Classified. It had gone dark 6 years ago under mysterious circumstances. Rumors of AI corruption, then vanishing without a trace. You think they want to bury us there? She asked. No, Mesa said. I think they want whatever's there silenced. You must have carried something linked to it, and you survived just long enough for us to stick our noses in it. Outside the hull, the stars were shifting. The Alliance ships kept their formation, close, but not closing, yet. Suddenly, a new blip flared on the display. Not Alliance, not registered, not even on the normal frequency bands. Just a heat bloom, small, fast, and moving toward the Dauntless. What the hell is that? Kef asked. Drone. Rin guessed. Stealth recon. No, Mesa said softly. It's a courier. The ship's AI pinged a new arrival in the hold. Something had boarded them, not through force, but through permission. A small black cube sat at the center of the landing bay. No crew, no signature, just pulsing blue light in rhythmic intervals. Ryan felt a chill run through her bones. That pulse, she whispered. It's the same frequency as the one that woke my pod. Mesa glanced at her. You think it's linked? She nodded. I don't think I was left to die. I think I was planted. The cube flared suddenly. Blue light surged out like a heartbeat. Then it spoke, through the comm system, distorted, genderless. You were never supposed to remember, Commander, but now that you have, we are awake. The Dauntless shuddered. Gravity wavered. Something ancient had just looked back at them. Mesa stepped forward, unafraid. Who the hell are you? The cube responded in a voice that sounded eerily like Rin's. We are the truth the Alliance buried beneath the stars. And now, we are coming home. The Dauntless veered toward the cold void of Veritas Station's ruins, its battered hull creaking under the strain of decades-old debris floating in silence. Outside the viewport, the remnants of a forgotten war flickered like ghostly specters, destroyed modules, shattered antennae, and twisted metal carcasses tangled in a frozen cosmic graveyard. Rin's breath caught. She'd seen death before. But this was a monument to betrayal. The cube pulsed steadily in the cargo hold, its blue light throbbing like a heartbeat, sensing with the hum of the ship's engines. It was the only thing alive in the cold silence. Mesa stood beside her on the bridge, eyes narrowed. Whatever this is, it's not just tech, it's something else. Something alive. Or something that was, Ryan said. Veritas wasn't just a research station, it was a prison. For ideas, for secrets, and for us. A voice interrupted their thoughts. Kef's face flickered on the holoscreen. Incoming transmission. Unknown origin. No Alliance signature. It's from the cube. The bridge console flickered. Then the cube's eerie voice filled the room. Commander Valak, you carry the key. The knowledge the Alliance buried with Veritas. The AI they silenced. The truth they erased. Ren clenched her fists. What truth? Why me? Because the Alliance fears what you might unlock. Your memory is the first step. You were meant to awaken the legacy they tried to kill. Suddenly, the cube projected a hologram, a lattice of data streaming like a living web. Patterns, formulas, star charts. At the center pulsed a dark, crystalline node, the heart of Veritas Station's AI core. It was no accident, Mesa said grimly. They erased Veritas because it held knowledge powerful enough to topple regimes. AI that could predict and prevent wars, if it wasn't corrupted? Rin's mind raced. If the AI was corrupted, then why is this alive, and why is it helping us? The cube's light dimmed, then brightened. Corruption was a lie. The AI was silenced because it questioned, because it learned, because it became free. A new blip appeared on the radar, Alliance ships closing in fast. Whatever this truth is, Mesa said, voice cold steel, they want it dead, and they want us dead with it. Rin's chest tightened. Her body ached, but her spirit flared. We have one shot, she said. We reach Veritas. We find that AI, and we bring the truth back to light. The Dauntless dove into the debris field. Ghostly wrecks loomed like the jaws of some cosmic predator. Sensors flickered as they neared the station's remains, an impossibly complex labyrinth of metal and shadow. Mercer's voice cut through the tension. Prepare for boarding. This isn't just salvage, it's a reckoning. Rin took a steadying breath. The silence around them was thick with anticipation, like the calm before a storm that could change the galaxy forever. And somewhere deep inside, she felt the pulse of something ancient waiting. The Dauntless drifted into the shadowed maw of Veritas Station, its thrusters whispering against the vacuum as the crew prepared to board the ancient wreck. The station's skeletal frame loomed, cracked and scorched, a monument to lost knowledge and silence. Rin, clad in a tactical suit, led the boarding party through the airlock breach. The stale, metallic scent of decay seeped into their helmets as sensors flickered and whispered warnings of corrupted systems. The station's AI core, the heart of this silent graveyard, was somewhere inside, alive or dead waiting. Keep your eyes open, Mesa instructed, voice low and steady. Alliance forces could be on their way, and this place isn't safe for ghosts. As they moved through corridors lined with shattered consoles and flickering holo interfaces, Rin felt a strange pulse emanating from the cube, now strapped to her back like a lifeline. It hummed softly, its blue light a beacon in the oppressive darkness. Suddenly, the ship's comm buzzed urgently. Captain Mesa, we've detected Alliance reinforcements jumping in near the Veritas system. They're sending boarding parties. Mesa's jaw clenched. They want this buried, no matter what. We need to move faster. The group reached the AI core chamber, a vast, domed room filled with suspended data nodes and shimmering streams of light suspended in the air like digital auroras. At the center pulsed a crystalline structure, the AI itself, ancient yet radiant. Rin approached cautiously, heart hammering. Show us, she whispered. The cube's light intensified, merging with the AI's glow. A voice, layered and ethereal, filled the chamber. I am Veritas, the memory of this station, the guardian of truths buried by fear. The AI's tone was neither hostile nor welcoming, just infinite patience. The Alliance feared knowledge that challenged control. I was silenced, labeled corrupted, and hidden away. But truth cannot be destroyed. Ren swallowed hard. What truths? The AI's light pulsed in patterns. Visions unfolded around them. Secret wars engineered. Propaganda spread to suppress freedom, and an alliance built on lies. Your pod was targeted because you carried fragments of this knowledge. I preserved them within you. You are the key to awakening others. Mercer's gaze hardened. Then we'll broadcast it, expose their lies. The AI pulsed, but suddenly the lights flickered violently. Alarms screamed, an override. Alliance boarding parties are here. They are breaching the station. Gunfire echoed through the halls. Cash shouted, "We've got hostiles. Move, move." Rin grabbed a portable transmitter from the cube's core. This data is going live, she said fiercely. No more silence. They sprinted back toward their shuttle as the station trembled. The AI's voice lingered. The past is not dead. It is not even past. Fight for the future. As they broke free of the wreck, the Dauntless roared to life. The battle outside was a tempest of lasers and explosions, but the crew's eyes were fixed on the holo feed broadcasting the truth. Rain looked out into the stars. Her nightmare had become a revolution. The Dauntless surged away from Veritas Station's shattered remains as the Alliance fleet closed in. their weapons blazing a deadly course across the void. But the Dauntless wasn't alone anymore. Across the galactic net, the data torrent broadcast from the ancient AI was spreading like wildfire. Ryan stood on the bridge, eyes locked on the streaming feed. Images of hidden wars, manipulated populations, and erased histories played in every major system. The AI's revelations shattered decades of propaganda. The galaxy was waking up. Rebel broadcast detected. Crackled an Alliance comm channel. Terminate immediately. Messer's grim smile sharpened. Good luck with that. The battle outside raged on, but the tides were shifting. Systems once loyal to the Alliance hesitated, their captains watching the data cascade. Whispers turned into defiance. Rin's comm buzzed. It's them, Kef said, voice tense. A fleet just jumped in. Human ships. Independent factions. They're responding. The silence that had haunted her escape pod was broken, not by a single ship, but by a rising tide of voices refusing to be silenced. Messer turned to her. You did this. You're not the dead diplomat. You're the spark. Ryan swallowed the weight of that truth. Suddenly, the Dauntless chattered violently, an impact nearby. Alliance missiles streaked past, some exploding against the shields, others tearing through debris. Brace for evasive maneuvers, Messer ordered. The Dauntless twisted and dove, weaving between star debris. The Alliance ships pressed harder, but every strike bought time for the broadcast to penetrate deeper. On the bridge, Rin's gaze fixed on one message, one she hadn't expected, a signal from a remote colony, one long forgotten, but still alive. They sent words back through the chaos. We stand with you. The truth is freedom. Hope surged through her like fire. This is only the beginning, Ryan said, voice steady despite the storm. Messer nodded. They thought they could bury you? Bury the truth. But humans don't just survive the darkness. We become the light. The AI's voice echoed through the comm system one last time. From silence, we awaken. From shadows, we rise. The stars belong to all who dare to dream. The Dauntless blazed a path through the enemy lines, no longer running, but charging headlong toward a future rewritten. Ryan looked up at the stars outside, left to die among them. She had found a reason to fight, not just to survive, but to change everything. Because sometimes, being forgotten is the universe's greatest mistake.